I never believed in ghosts, or demons, or anything supernatural. But that changed the night we decided to play with a Ouija board. It started as a joke. My friends and I, Emma, Jake, and Ryan, were bored at a sleepover and looking for something fun to do. Emma had an old Ouija board that she found in her grandmother's attic. The board looked ancient, the wood cracked, the letters faded. The planchette was missing, so we used an old shot glass instead. We dimmed the lights, lit a few candles, and gathered around the board. "Are there any spirits here with us?" I asked, trying to keep my voice from shaking. At first, nothing happened. We exchanged nervous glances. But then the glass moved. "Yes," Emma gasped. "Who's moving it?" "Not me," Ryan whispered. "Bullshit," Jake said. "One of you is messing with us." "Swear on your life," Emma shot back. None of us admitted to moving the glass. I swallowed hard and asked, "Who are we speaking to?" The glass began to slide, one letter at a time. "Elias." "Elias?" Emma repeated. "Were you human?" The glass moved again. "No." A chill ran down my spine. I suddenly wanted to stop, but Ryan, always the skeptic, smirked. "If you're real, give us a sign." The candles flickered violently. A sudden gust of cold air rushed through the room, even though the windows were shut. Then we heard it, 3 knocks on the wall. Knock, knock, knock. Emma let out a small scream, covering her mouth. "This isn't funny, guys," I said, my voice shaking. "I'm not laughing," Jake muttered, his face pale. The glass started moving again. Faster this time. "Letmein. Let you in," I repeated. Before anyone could react, the shot glass shattered into tiny pieces. The candles went out, plunging us into darkness. Then from the corner of the room we heard it, ragged breathing. Not ours. Something else. I scrambled for my phone's flashlight, my hands shaking. I pointed it toward the corner. Nothing was there. But when I turned back to my friends, Emma was staring straight ahead, her eyes wide. "Emma," I whispered. She didn't respond. Her lips moved, but the voice that came out wasn't hers. It was deep, guttural. "You should not have called me." The room grew unbearably cold. Emma's body jerked violently before she collapsed onto the floor, unconscious. We didn't touch the board again. Emma woke up hours later with no memory of what happened. But strange things kept happening to her afterward. Objects moving on their own, whispers in the night, the feeling of being watched. We tried to forget, but I still dream about that night. And sometimes, when I'm alone, I hear those same 3 knocks. Knock, knock, knock. I should have listened to the warnings. It was my roommate, Alex, who brought the Ouija board into our apartment. He claimed he found it at a thrift shop, an old wooden board with ornate letters and numbers burned into its surface. The planchette was smooth, almost polished, as if it had been used countless times before. "This thing looks ancient," I said, running my fingers over the worn edges. "That makes it even better," Alex grinned. "Let's try it tonight." I hesitated. I had always heard stories, people opening doors they couldn't close, things following them afterward. But Alex laughed it off. "It's just a game, dude." That night, we sat on the floor, the Ouija board between us. Our third roommate, Jessica, refused to participate and watched from the couch, arms crossed. "You guys are idiots," she muttered. Alex and I placed our fingers on the planchette. "Is anyone here with us?" Alex asked, his voice mocking. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the planchette moved. "Why, yes." I felt my stomach tighten. I wasn't moving it. "Who are we talking to?" I asked. "ABL. Abel?" Alex repeated. "Are you a spirit?" The planchette slid forcefully. "No." Jessica sat up straighter. "Okay, I don't like this." "Then what are you?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. The planchette moved again. "DOR. Door?" Alex frowned. "What do you mean?" Suddenly, the lights flickered. A deep creaking sound echoed from the hallway, as if something heavy was moving. The air turned ice cold. Jessica stood up. "I'm done. Stop playing." Alex looked at me. "Dude, are you moving this?" I shook my head. The planchette started moving violently, faster than before. "Letmein." A loud bang came from the hallway, like a door slamming shut. Jessica screamed. "Stop it! Close the board." Alex fumbled for the goodbye position, but the planchette wouldn't move. Our fingers stuck to it like it was glued. Then the candles we had lit blew out all at once. In the darkness, I heard something breathing. Not Alex. Not Jessica. Something else. And then just behind me a whisper. You already did. The lights flickered back on. The planchette lay still. The board was ice cold. We never played again. But at night, I sometimes wake up to the sound of something scratching at my bedroom door. And I know it's not Alex. I should have known better than to leave the game unfinished. It started as a harmless night of fun, me, my best friend Lucas, and my sister Claire, sitting in our dimly lit basement with a Ouija board we found in an old box. The air smelled of dust and something else, something metallic. You guys ready? Lucas asked, smirking as he placed his fingers on the planchette. Claire hesitated. We shouldn't do this. I rolled my eyes. It's just a game, Claire. We placed our fingers on the planchette together. Is there anyone here with us? I asked. The planchette didn't move. Lucas sighed. Guess it's broken. Suddenly, it jerked under our fingers. Why, yes. We all froze. Claire swallowed hard. What's your name? Matthew. Matthew? Lucas repeated. Were you human? The planchette slid quickly. Why, yes. I felt a chill run through me. The basement suddenly seemed darker, colder. How did you die? I asked. Silence. The planchette didn't move. Then, from upstairs, we heard a loud thud. Claire jumped. That came from the kitchen. Lucas forced a laugh. Maybe your cat knocked something over? We didn't have a cat. I looked back at the board. The planchette trembled slightly under our fingers. Do you mean us harm? Claire whispered. The planchette shot to yes, so fast that our fingers nearly lifted off. The basement door creaked. Something was coming down the stairs. We need to stop, Claire said, voice shaking. She yanked her fingers away from the board. The planchette moved on its own. No. Lucas scrambled to flip the board to goodbye, but the planchette wouldn't budge. The candle we had lit suddenly blew out, plunging us into darkness. And then right behind me I heard breathing. Slow, ragged, close. I reached for my phone flashlight with shaking hands, turned it on, and aimed it at the stairs. No one was there. But when I looked back at the Ouija board, the planchette was gone. We ran upstairs and refused to go back into the basement. That night, as I lay in bed, I felt something watching me. And just as I was about to fall asleep, a whisper drifted through the darkness. You didn't say goodbye. I never believed in ghosts. Not really. But after that night, I don't sleep without a light on. It was just me and my cousin Daniel at his house that weekend. His parents were out of town, and we had the place to ourselves. We spent most of the night playing video games, but around midnight, boredom set in. That's when Daniel pulled an old Ouija board out of his closet. Found this in the attic, he said, grinning. Let's see if it works. I hesitated. Dude, that's a bad idea. Come on, it's just a game. I sighed and sat across from him on the floor. We placed our fingers on the planchette, and Daniel started with the usual question. Is there anyone here with us? Nothing happened at first. Then slowly the planchette moved. Why, yes. I felt a chill run through me. What's your name? Daniel asked. The planchette slid across the board. NOTIMPURTNT. I looked at Daniel. What the hell does that mean? He just smirked. Okay, mystery ghost. How did you die? The air in the room suddenly felt heavy, like it was pressing down on my chest. The planchette moved again. HRE. I pulled my hands away. Nope. I'm done. Seriously? Daniel groaned. It's just getting good. Before I could argue, the planchette started moving on its own. DONTLEAV. Daniel's face paled. The room was dead silent, but something felt wrong, like we weren't alone anymore. Then we heard it. A soft shuffle, like bare feet on carpet. Daniel grabbed his phone flashlight and aimed it toward the doorway. Nothing was there. We need to say goodbye, I whispered. We placed our fingers back on the planchette and slid it to goodbye. The second we did, the room seemed to breathe, like the air had been released. Neither of us spoke for a long time. Eventually, we turned on every light in the house and tried to shake it off. But later that night, as I lay awake in the guest room, I heard it again. Soft footsteps outside my door. I held my breath, staring at the crack beneath the doorframe. And then a shadow passed by. Slow, deliberate. I stayed awake until morning. When I told Daniel about it, he went pale. I thought I heard it too, he whispered. We burned the board that afternoon. But sometimes when I visit Daniel's house, I still feel it. Like someone is watching. Like the silent guest never left. I never wanted to play with the Ouija board. It was my friend Mason's idea. He had just moved into an old house his parents bought cheap, and he swore weird things were happening. Doors creaking open on their own, whispers in the hallways at night. I told him it was just an old house settling, but he insisted. If something's here, I want to know, he said, pulling out a Ouija board he claimed to have found in the attic. Our friend Lily hesitated. You shouldn't mess with that. Come on, Mason grinned. It's just a piece of wood. I didn't want to do it. But somehow, minutes later, we were sitting in his dimly lit living room, fingers resting on the planchette. Is there anyone here with us? Mason asked. For a moment, nothing. Then the planchette twitched. Why, yes. I pulled my hand back. Okay, I'm done. Relax, Mason laughed. Who are we talking to? The planchette moved again, slow but steady. ROSE. Lily shuddered. Rose, were you the owner of this house? No. The air in the room shifted. I felt it, like something watching from the shadows. Then who are you? Mason asked. The planchette didn't move. Instead, a faint whisper filled the air. We all heard it. A woman's voice. Let me in. Lily gasped. Did you hear that? Mason's face had gone pale. His hands shook, but he forced himself to ask. What do you mean? Let you in where? The whisper came again, closer this time. You know where. The lights flickered. The candles we lit flickered violently, then went out. Something shifted in the shadows near the kitchen. I grabbed the planchette and slid it to goodbye. The room went silent. We sat there frozen. Mason's breathing was ragged. Lily was shaking. We're never doing that again, I whispered. Mason nodded, staring at the board like it might move on its own. That night, I went home and tried to sleep. But sometime around 3 a.m., I woke up to something strange. A faint whisper. A woman's voice. Let me in.